Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you. My name is Nick and it's another one of those Sunday things where we talk about bits and bobs. Been another very active week on the channel, few ups and few downs. Now don't get worried if you're not into football games. I know we've been putting quite a few of those up at the moment, but it's only because of the World Cup, as I'm sure you guessed. So we'll be back to normal quite shortly. I like to mix it up a bit because we all like different things. If you keep it up the same stuff, well, it starts to get a bit boring. So how much gaming do you actually do? Do you mainly watch it on YouTube, or do you play on a variety of different systems? And how many hours a day would you say that you spend gaming? Are you always gaming, or sometimes you're watching the TV, or do you go out with friends a lot, or is it mainly indoors doing just basically all your different games and your different systems? The only reason I ask is most of my time is spent on doing this channel, funnily enough, so most of my life is linked to gaming. But the reason why I ask is, in January 2018, now it was classed as a disorder, a mental disorder, a gaming addiction. Who'd have thought there could have been such a thing, but it was classed as a disorder, which made me think, have I got this disorder? And it would make you think. It's like when you Google something and then look at the symptoms of some deadly disease, you think, I must have that, which is never a very good idea to do, is it? So basically it's been classified as a disorder by the WHO, the WHO, no, not the band The Who or Doctor Who, the World Health Organization. So yeah, it got me thinking, how many hours a day do I play games, and how many hours a day do you play games? Do you think you might be bordering on this disorder, or is it just something made up or nothing to worry about? They've given the description of people that do have a gaming disorder as a pattern of persistent or recurrent gaming behaviour, so severe that it takes precedence over other life events. Well, I suppose, talking about myself, sometimes it takes precedence. I mean, sometimes I might have my dinner a bit later if I'm stuck on a game or doing a recording, or I can't come immediately. And sometimes I do plan to watch a TV programme or go out and then I turn up late or miss the TV programme. So is this a bit what it's like? Now, for people that are worried who think they have got the condition, this is a worldwide thing and only recognised as a phenomenon recently, private clinics have been set up to treat the condition. So, I suppose if you go into these clinics, you can't take phones with you because there's phone app games. Yeah, I do spend a lot of time looking at the screen. Even when I'm not on a screen, I am looking at my phone, checking Facebook every 2 seconds or social media. So yeah, I mean, aren't we all addicted to like the internet broadband? I mean, how long could you go not attached to the internet? So not checking any social media, not checking anything. So a bit like, if you're my age or similar, when we were kids, before the mid-90s going forward, or late 90s, we didn't have the internet at all. Of course, we had the retro games, Commodore Amiga, for me, Spectrum, and you might have had various other systems as well. Did tend to put a lot of time there as a kid, but I went out as well, played football for what it was worth and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, they go forward into trying to find the symptoms, because it's quite easy to get confused with people that are really enthusiastic about gaming and spend a lot of time on there but know where the line is crossed, and people that have actually got this condition which is actually having negative effects on their self and their life. So it's important to recognise where is the difference. I'm sure it's going to be different for different types of people, but let's have a look at the guidelines here. Let's try and self-diagnose ourselves. So the symptoms include impaired control over gaming, so it's to do with the frequency, the intensity and the duration. So if you play a lot but only for a few minutes and you're gone again, then come back 10 minutes later, it's not really including that, I don't think. Increased priority given to gaming. So again, as we touched on, not going out, missing meals, that sort of thing, and maybe not doing your washing or having the same bed sheets for 4 months because you're stuck on Tomb Raider or something. That might be an indication. And also time goes a lot quicker as well. Also, a continuation or escalation of gaming despite negative consequences. So you already know it's doing you harm, you're getting gradually ill and more tired, but you still keep playing. I think there was a time as a kid, I think I might have come on this a bit of it, I was playing the computer so much in a football management game that I couldn't look at the screen. I had a sort of like a headache. And it's quite a bad headache. I've probably done an 8-hour stint on there trying to get through the league and get my team promoted. and I took some headache tablets because the headache was so bad, and I went back to the screen and played even more, hoping the headaches would wear off. So if that had continued to where I am now, I might be dead. So that's probably the closest I've ever got to it. If you got a similar story like that, are you in that now? Especially with online gaming, it's quite easy to get dragged in. So yeah, I mean, how do you tell the difference then between gaming addiction and just being an enthusiastic gamer? Well, now, therapists have long been campaigning for this to actually be recognised as a thing. Before, when you said I'm addicted to gaming, people would just laugh or stop it. Well, you know, people get dragged into the game, they've got whole new lives. Now, essentially, it's people living a different life to what they have already, so their own life might be a bit boring, or they might be failing in some way, or might get frustrated. So you can take on this online persona, or in the actual game itself, and then live there so long, then you convince yourself you're actually in it, a bit like the Matrix, so then breaking away from that back to reality is miles too harsh for the body to take and your brain to take. So you try and stay there as much as you possibly can. So you create a new internal world for yourself as your body gradually dies. Now, I'm really glad this has been identified as a problem, so if you've got any friends or family that you think might be bordering towards this, maybe you can go round there and just friendly chat or that sort of thing. But they'd probably be in denial, but aware that the situation's going on. So how long do you play games? Is it constantly? You know, ask yourself these questions. So now, whereas I don't think I've got a problem, but then that might be denial again. The people that are at most risk are the people that got these sort of symptoms, really, okay? Now, staying up all night. So essentially, we've all been there a few times. It's only if you've been there every day going on for months. We've all been at this point at some point, but not continuously. So, staying up all night, having no sleep playing the games. Okay, now that's a problem. So playing to the early hours of the morning, then it's time to get up again, and still playing, have about an hour or so sleep, then go back on again. There's been documentation of people playing for over 24 hours straight and dying, and various other grim stories. We touched on it as well, contact with no one, no friends, no relatives at all. So you wonder if this person is still alive. They've just dropped off the radar completely because they're stuck in the game. Not eating to continue playing. Now, as a kid, I did this quite a lot, especially in that football management game, because time goes so quick. You think, right, it's half an hour to lunch. Oh no, it's 3 o'clock now. I'll wait till dinner, and then past dinner just to play the game on and on and on. Hygiene suffering, so not washing. There's even been cases of people actually, I can't believe it's got this bad, but this is when the addiction really is in there. You must think, right, I've definitely got a problem here. People soiling themselves so they don't have to get up from playing the game, even to go to the lavatory. I mean, that you've got a problem then, surely. You know something's going on there. So constant things like not having any breaks, not getting up at the right time, not having sleep, and it's trying to get that excitement away from reality, really. So the World Health Organization, now if you're worried that you might have this or you have any of those symptoms, do Google the World Health Organization, I should say, or see a doctor, because it is now recognized. Try and get some online help what people are doing. Now, overall, although I play games a lot, it is for the purpose of this game, or this channel, I should say, and it's sort of like work orientated. But even I have to remember, like, go out for a walk. I can't be all the time on the screen. Games are extremely good fun, bring back good memories, but shouldn't dominate absolutely every waking minute of your day to the point where you're not getting any sleep and you're not eating, you're not keeping healthy. It's about keeping around balance. So how do you think you're doing then? Do you think you're playing games a little bit too much but haven't got a problem? You don't really play them at all? You're mainly on YouTube watching stuff, you can turn it off at any time. So what do you think about this gaming addiction? A made up thing or a major problem? Now, there was a story, I meant to say this before, there was a story I heard about years ago in Japan where there was this young Japanese couple and they had a child, a baby, but they was also into Tamagotchi. And they got really obsessed with the Tamagotchi, feeding the Tamagotchi, keeping it alive, getting the right things, obsessed with that, to such an extent that their real-life child tragically died because they weren't feeding it or taking care of it, but the Tamagotchi was still alive. Now, you know, there's a big problem there. So let me know what you think. Have you got any experience of that? Have you got any friends or family that have gone through something similar, or you are worried about them? Let me know. Let's share the knowledge and all look after each other. Okay, so I hope you're having a good weekend. Have a good week. The football's going on forever and ever and ever, but we won't cover every football game here. We'll try and mix it up. So till next time, take great care of yourself and have a very fun. Goodbye.
Goodbye.